All right, I greet you in peace and in love and hopefully understanding. Um, I wanted to come back. I dropped that little, the prophetic thing, and but I still wanted to come back because there are some people that contacted me and they were talking about Jesus. And so I want to talk about Jesus. And the reason why I want to talk about Jesus is because I think that people have the wrong idea or the wrong understanding about how we feel about Jesus and all of that. The first thing that I would like to do is to say that yes, it is 100% true that Jesus was created by the Nicene Council. All right. And there was not just one. And if you go study, there were over 30 councils that met. There were no indigenous people at any of these conferences. And the aristocracy at the time, they created Jesus. And of course, everybody pretty much knows that what's the guy, the picture, the blonde hair, blue eyed picture of Jesus is actually what what's the guy's name? I think it's like Caesar or something like that, Borgia, or anyway, whatever. Okay, so we know that Jesus was created by human beings. Now, here is the thing. Just because he was created by human beings doesn't mean that he is not real to people. And in our spirituality, in Kemetic spirituality, the main thing is what? Is that you honor all altars. Because you can make an altar or you can worship or praise or do whatever you want to anybody. Doesn't really matter. And the thing about it is people have been indoctrinated into Jesus for 3,000 years because it was before the King James version of the Bible, which is the manifest destiny of the white race. And you can say what you want, but it's absolutely 100%. That's what it is. And that's why that's one of the reasons why it was written. But let's get back to Jesus. Okay, so now Jesus is real to a lot of people because what? It's a spirit. That's what I'm trying to get at, is that the fact of the matter is that Jesus is a spirit, and part of the spirit of Jesus, which is what I want everybody to realize, is the Christ consciousness, or what we call, our crown chakra. Okay, so which is not even inside of your body. It's outside of your body. Your crown chakra is in the ether, right? So your crown chakra is out there. And everybody who becomes enlightened or that seeks after this enlightenment can obtain it. There's no gatekeeper, nothing like that. If you seek to be enlightened and to get to that level, anybody can do it. So that's how come people get what I say all the time. I say, well, instead of saying Jesus, say your name. Greater works, right? Will you be able to do? And then the other thing is, and this is something that me and my sister talk about all the time, because she is more into the Tibetan mystery systems and all of that than I am. and that's what she studied a lot of that. But I'm more so into the Kemetic spiritual systems, and so I know things more so about the Kemetic spiritual systems. But I've also studied that stuff. So the funny thing about it is that I tell everybody all the time, if Jesus existed as a person, he would have probably been a Tibetan monk. That's probably what he would have been, not a carpenter, because the things that he did, the miracles, the healings, all of the things that he did are things that are like standard procedure for Tibetan monks. Go figure, right? But that's and even the times that that the scriptures talk about him going away by himself and all of that kind of stuff and meditating, and then nobody knows where he was from 12 to 33, although they say they called him out of Egypt. But even if they called him out of Egypt, the stuff that he was doing was still Tibet. So at some point, he had to go to Tibet and study. He had to, because at that time in antiquity, there was nothing else there. Where else was he going to go? That was the only place he could go to understand that type of mysticism and that type of metaphysical knowledge and understanding. And also the reason why I know this is probably true is because I have seen Tibetan monks who can do the stuff that they attribute to Jesus. So just remember that, and just remember that he's not. But I understand that to a lot of people, because they've been indoctrinated into that reality for so long, that to them is real. And let's not forget levels of consciousness and all of that. Anything that you believe is real to you. Even if it's not true, but if you believe it, it's real to you. So that's why, and then honoring all altars, because that's all that is. It's another form, is their form of being able to worship. Now, fundamentally, theologically, it's wrong because it's taking the focus off of you and putting the focus on some place or someone else. And if you know about, okay, once again, you're fully human, you're fully human, you're fully spirit, and you exist, right? That's one of the first things that I started talking about. So you're fully human, you're fully spirit, and you fully exist. I am that I am, right? You're fully human, you're fully spirit, and you fully exist. So in that context, you are God. And your scriptures tell you in the Old Testament and in the New Testament, it tells you that you are God, not Jesus. And Lucifer or the devil or whoever it is, the morning star, the bright and morning star and Lucifer and all that, because all it's referring to is your nature, the fact that both things, good and evil, both reside with you. And it's only how you decide to use it. And once again, everything in the creation can be used for what? For good or for evil. And the other thing that Jesus does is it makes you sin conscious, which is what we don't do. Our spiritual practice has nothing to do with sin. The only part of it that has to do with sin is that when you pass away, right? When you transition, when you make your transition, your standard is that you can weigh your heart against a feather. So that's our comedic standard, or what we consider sin. But we also have within our spiritual system a way of avoiding sin and of trying to, try to live a good life and be a good human being. And that's Mayat. So so all of the things that are associated with Mayat and the negative confessions of Mayat, and also the netters, by looking at the netters and realizing that these netters are telling us our own human nature. What they're doing is saying, look, these are the things that we have the propensity to do if we don't check ourselves. That's what it's basically telling you. And it's also talking about the energy that you have within your chakras, and all of the things that are going on is, in the New Testament, are talking about your body, talking about you, talking about your chakras, your transition into becoming, because this is what it is. It's a transition. You're going from being fully human and fully spirit to being fully spirit, because eventually you're going to leave this body. But your energy is going to be transformed into something else. And that's all really when you talk about physical death, which is why your scriptures once again say that the date or the day of a man's death is actually greater than the day he's born. And you're not born, and that's the other thing, you're not born into sin, all of these sin conscious things, and then supposedly Jesus is supposed to take away all of the sin or whatever. But in our spiritual system, that would be the knowledge of Mayat and the wisdom of Mayat, those 42 negative confessions. And then here's the thing, if there's other things that you need to add in order to make yourself better, you can add as many confessions, as many affirmations, as many whatever you speak out of your mouth, you can obtain it. So that's why, and then the reason that we talk about Jesus so much is because a lot of that New Testament is in order to enslave people and to persecute people and to do all of those things. And that's why we always talk about, if you're going to read those scriptures, then you have to have super discernment to know what exactly is saying, who is saying it to, and all of that, because 9 times out of 10, most of that book is basically just spells, incantations, rituals, all kinds of stuff. That's all it is. But it's not pointed at the God that you think it is. That's all I'm going to say. And that's because I've studied this stuff. I have studied God. That's what I have my PhD in. So I've studied about this stuff, and I'm just saying there's a lot to it. But anything that you really believe, if you believe it, it's real. If you believe it and it's real to you, so don't attack those people. And under our spiritual system, really, you're supposed to honor their altar. It's almost like in Islam when they tell everybody, if you're of the book, like if you're of a book,
then, they give respect to that. So respect everybody's altars, respect everybody's religions, respect everybody's stuff. It may not be for you, but here's the thing. Don't force them. Don't force your stuff on anybody else. All right? Anyway, that's all I got. Love you. Remember, be in joy. Greet people, smile at people, laugh, have fun, and live life. I love you.